Hi, everybody. Let me just pull it up here. 1 second. There we go. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Friday. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I don't feel great, but we have to talk about things. It's kind of just the vibe in here. Everyone's just kind of like, I don't have my glasses on, so I might not be able to see very well. But I have like a swollen thing inside my face, so it hurts. My face hurts. So if I look silly, so sorry. But we have so many things to talk about, so welcome to Lily's News. It's 5:02 on a Friday, and that means we have to talk about all the things that went down this past week and some things that went down these past couple of weeks in the past. Hi, Crystalline. How are you? Okay. Let's just jump into the first thing that we need to talk about is the Jennifer Crumbley case. So let's start with a little bit of backstory, a little bit of history on what's going on. You've probably seen it on social media. You might have seen some clips here and there of a defense attorney who doesn't really know how to act that right. She wasn't acting right. So that was kind of floating around the internet, but this case was more than just like a silly defense attorney and like weirdness going on in court. This trial set precedent for parents being legally and criminally held responsible for their children's actions to an extent. So this is like really important, and I know that I have a lot of people who watch who have kids, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. So a little backstory: Ethan Crumbley was 15 years old in 2021, November 30th, and he became a school shooter. He became a statistic. He became a murderer, unfortunately. He murdered 4 students and injured 7 people got injured in his rampage that happened November 30th in 2021 at Oxford. It was Oxford High School in Michigan. So that's what happened. And the state was very quick to make a movement to charge the parents in many different levels. They had different levels, but they landed on involuntary manslaughter for the actions of their son and what took place due to the information that they were readily given from school officials, school employees, and like the information that they gathered right after the shooting. The state, the attorneys general were ready to press charges on the parents because they believed that the parents, the mother and father of Ethan Crumbley, were able to step in and not allow this to happen. So this is the trial for Jennifer Crumbley, the mother, just wrapped up. The jury came back and, spoiler alert, found her guilty. But let's get through like some details in the trial to see like maybe you would also have the same opinion as the jury. So Jennifer Crumbley stood on defense and said, "No, I'm not responsible for my 15-year-old's decision to take a weapon into school and use it against his fellow students and teachers." The state said, "No, no, no. You have a part to play in this because of this, this, and this." So, a kind of like summation of the evidence that was put forth. I watched a good portion of this trial. A little summation: Jennifer, the mom, and the dad, who was going on trial in March, were kind of oddball parents. So they had one son, Ethan, and that's probably going to be the last time I say his name because I don't think he deserves his name to be spoken, which is what they tried to do in the trial as well. He had one son, and he was living. His bedroom was his second bedroom because his first bedroom was so disgusting. It was a mess. He couldn't keep it clean. Jennifer, the mom, was just annoyed at trying to keep it clean. She said, "No, just go live in a different room until you clean your room." Kind of strange. Clean your room. Like, you're 15, grow up, clean your room. There were notes and journals and writings that a small amount of them were allowed in court, and they pointed to Ethan. Oh, my bad. That's what happened in trial too. That's what happened in court. Everyone, it just slips out because it's so easy to say. Pointed to him having problems with his mental health, saying he sees things, he hears things, that he has been asking for help from his parents and they just laugh at him. They say no, they make fun of him. There's all of this like information. There's texts from him to the parents saying, I see demons, and they say, "Yeah, okay, sure." They're showing proof that like the parents never took their son seriously and his claims of having things going on inside of his head. And so the mom was having an affair too. She had like adult friend finder on her phone. She was having an affair with an old friend, and there was a little drama around that in court. Oh my gosh, my whole body feels like it's shutting down right now. So that was like a big deal. That was like, oh my gosh, she's having an affair. She's guilty. That's not how that works. But on Black Friday of 2021, the mom, Jennifer, goes shopping, and the dad and the son go out to the gun range or gun shop, and they purchase a gun, a 9mm gun. A couple days later, or maybe the next day, something around there, the mom and the son, Jennifer and the son, go to the gun range. Now, when Jennifer on the stand was asked how she felt when the father bought the son a gun, she said, "I didn't really care. I was just mad that it cut into my tree cutting time." And I watched her on stand. I watched her entire testimony and her cross and her re-examine. I watched it all, and I cannot shake that out of me. I cannot get that statement out of my head. She didn't care that he bought his 15-year-old son a gun. She cared that it was cutting into her Christmas tree cutting time. They go out after shopping on Black Friday and cut down a Christmas tree. Knowing what we know now of what happened with that same weapon, it breaks my heart. That is absolutely so upsetting to me. And I haven't really seen anyone kind of like mention that exact moment. There's a lot of moments that were talked about, but that one there, it just gets me. It gets me. Anywho, They go to the gun range. There's video evidence of Jennifer and her son going to the gun range. She's buying him bullets for the gun. And then on the 30th, Ethan, he is at school, and the mom and dad, Jennifer and the dad, are called into the school saying, hey, you got to come into the school. We have to talk to you about this. We have to have this conversation. We have to have this sit down with your son because something is happening. And they said, okay, we'll be right there. Now, it was mentioned over and over again that the dad could not hold down a job, so he was door dashing, which door dashing is a way to make money. And if you can't hold down a classic 9 to 5, you might as well utilize your car and your phone and go make some money. And I really did not like how they constantly played the father as like some deadbeat dad. Door dashing is overrated. They really continued to play he's a deadbeat dad aspect in hopes to win the jury over and say, well, the mom, Jennifer, was doing so much good. She was doing all this and paying the bills and this and this and this and this. It was a tough thing. It felt like family court mixed with like criminal court. It was very unnerving. So anywho, so they call the parents into the school and they're like, hey, here's a drawing on an assignment that your son did. And it's a drawing of a kid, person, human, him, holding a gun that looks exactly like the one that you just bought, or they just bought for him. Like, the counselor doesn't know that he has a gun that looks just like that, but they do. And he was a good artist, and so they were able to see, like, hey, and there was also some like blood in the drawing as well. So this was a problem. This was a highlighted issue that the school took action on, right? And the counselor made it very clear. He took to the stand that, hey, like, you need to get your son some help. You need to get your son some help. Like, maybe you should take him home, take the rest of the day. Your son needs to see somebody ASAP, as soon as possible. And Jennifer and the dad were like, nah, he can stay. No biggie. I don't have time for it. I gotta go DoorDash. I gotta get back to work. I gotta go keep cheating on my husband. We gotta go. We got things to do. He's staying at school. Little did they know that the gun that was in the drawing and the gun that they purchased on Black Friday in 2021 was loaded and in his backpack. Now, the son was relinquished back to his normal day, and a few hours after the meeting, his brain and body did the unthinkable. And when Jennifer found out that there was an active shooter situation at the school that her son goes to, she knew it was him. You could tell that she knew it was him, from the text messages, the what she did, her going home, looking for the gun and it not being where it's supposed to be. It was all very, she knew. She didn't say out loud that it was him, but she knew that it was him. She knew deep down. And I don't think there's any way that she wouldn't have known, but she just actively chose to ignore it, in my opinion. So by the time that the event happened, Ethan, the kid's only friend, essentially, the only person that actually hung out with him, was in a sort of like intensive therapy situation. October 30th was Halloween. So on Halloween, the month before, his only friend who had OCD, and probably like a really intense like dealing with OCD. He was taken by his family to a sort of like therapy rehab situation. And I guess the kid didn't really know and he didn't handle it well. He was then left to kind of his own devices, all alone in a school full of people that misunderstood him. And now the point and like the majority, the reason for this case, for reason for the charges, the 4 involuntary manslaughter charges against Jennifer Crumbley were not because she bought or she approved her son to have a gun for the gun range. It was not because the dad bought him a gun. It was not because she took him to the gun range and there's some extra ammo around. It was because of all of the times that they ignored her son cry for help. 15-year-old kid crying out, maybe not verbally, but you can see when your child, if you're paying attention, is asking for assistance. Now, there's no, I'm not justifying what he did in any way, shape, or form. That's completely unacceptable, and he pled guilty. There were plenty of times where it was on recording that he said he did it, and he did not fight the fact that he did it. But to allow your child to grow and live in like such a deplorable situation in a bedroom that they cannot live there anymore, and then just continue to allow them to just suffer in silence, without friends, without assistance, with grades going downhill, and just to keep allowing it and not stepping in any way, shape, or form is so crazy to me. So this is like all the things. There's so much more. This was a really big case. There was so much just like thrown at this jury. Text messages, recordings. There was a really moving testimony by a teacher who was shot by this 15-year-old when she was trying to barricade her door. And that was extremely moving. I don't see how a jury would not have found her guilty for involuntary manslaughter on 4 counts due to the evidence that was handed to them. I do see a lot of problems that happened in trial from both sides of the case, like both the prosecution and the defense, that should not have happened. And I don't know, it's just, this is such a strange thing, because we have never seen a parent of a school shooter be held accountable for their child's actions. I thought this was just absolutely mind-blowing, and it's something it's one for the books for sure, because it's setting precedent that you can't just ignore your kid and run away. Like, you can't just get away with ignoring your child. But then again, it's a 15-year-old who knows to not use the gun on human beings. So I don't know. I am like 100% for her being found guilty of involuntary manslaughter by allowing her kid to continue to suffer and not assist the child in any means at all, any way, shape, or form. There was no assistance for this child, and you can see that in the way that he would respond and act and kind of shelter themselves. And yes, some kids are, some kids like to be not around people, and some kids like to be around a lot of people, but you're an adult. You have to be able to like differentiate between the good separation and the bad separation. I don't know. This is absolutely wild. Okay, let me play you. Uh, this is one moment. This was a moment that. This was a moment for. It's not. I'm not laughing at it. It's just absolutely so ridiculous. This was a moment that Jennifer's defense attorney. What is her name? What was her name? Shannon Smith, who was also, what was it, Larry Nassar, the gymnast coach, defense attorney. He didn't get off on nothing. This is Shannon Smith, who is Jennifer's. I'm sorry, my brain is just an absolute mess today. I totally agree with you, Lily. He is so guilty. Yeah. It's just there's so much guilt. There's guilt. It has to be guilt, in my opinion. But there's so many people on the side of this is absolutely unacceptable. You cannot charge someone for someone else's actions, which I can see. So this is just one example of how Shannon Smith, Jennifer's defense attorney, acted in court. This is the lawyer, who I enjoy their content. So let's play a little bit of that.
In front of him, but instead they're buying him a gun, taking him to the shooting range, showing him where everything is, not protecting the gun appropriately, and therefore it's their fault. On cross, again, Ms. Smith, the defense attorney, I'm going to give her some props that she did a good job on cross-examination of a lot of these witnesses saying, do you know if Jennifer Crumbley ever saw this? Did she ever see that? Does she have any knowledge of this? Or is Ethan, who's at the age where he probably is hiding things from his parents, is he talking to people, making these drawings, hiding these things from his parents as well? And that they shouldn't have known or couldn't have known. And if they didn't know and they didn't see the signs, how were they supposed to know? To him, he was this great kid. That's how it's being presented to the jury.
And that's an argument for sure. Like, you didn't tell your parents everything that you did. You didn't let them read your journals. But the presentation of oneself okay. A stranger can see you present yourself in one way if they run into you at the grocery store. But your parents, when you're 15 and you live in their home, they see you every single day. They should be able to see a difference, a change. Ask the questions like, why are we not communicating like we used to? Of course, there's teenage angst, and I think that too many parents land on, oh, they're just a teen. They're just going, it's just the teenage angst. Oh, they're just a teen. Oh, they're just a teenager. No, it's not okay to just allow your child to continue to suffer and exist in this unknown state of am I angry? Am I happy? Am I bored? Am I sad? Am I mad? Am I going to scream? Am I going to cry? You can't just allow your kid to just exist there. Yes, you have to figure out how to manage your own emotions, but as parents, you should be able and equipped to assist your children to figure that out. You should be able to recognize when something has changed, when something is different. And I think that a parent who is working, let's say a solid 40-hour job, they're going to play with their horses on a horse farm 3 nights a week. They're meeting with their, side piece in the morning. They got a lot going on. They're probably going to miss a couple of those really important cues. And you are still needing to be a parent. If you don't want to be in your relationship with your partner, then get out of your relationship so you can continue to be a better parent. And I talked a little bit about it like last week with the man who unalived his father with the head, remember? There were so many signs pointing to this person not having the help that they need, not having, the therapy or the psychiatrists or the doctors or the, 5150 that they need for their own safety and for the safety of others around them. But you can't predict and when someone's gonna kind of snap. I hate saying when someone snaps, like, oh, she just snapped. Like, no. No, it's not a snap. It's like it's a gradual inclination, it's a gradual incline to the ultimate moment of whatever your brain is doing, so it's really tough. I don't know. I don't have kids, but I have a cat, and I know when my cat's not feeling good because it acts different. So I just feel like if you're a parent and you see your kid acting different, why would you not attempt to address the situation? And I feel like even if they did maybe 1 or 2 times, she probably wouldn't be in this situation. She probably wouldn't be in jail waiting to be sentenced in April for 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. So I don't know. We're gonna get to something. I think my timestamp is off.
In any trial, in front of the jury, the defense attorney is again discombobulated, a little unorganized, a little frustrated, which again, she has audibly said in front of the jury multiple times, this isn't how they gave it to me. They just gave this to me. I didn't have enough time to look at it. It's so confusing. The way the state's presenting it is confusing on purpose. It's hard for me to keep up. It's hard for me to even make objections just because I don't know what he's showing. In front of the jury. Again, I think partially to garner sympathy and showing that this big bad state is not giving her client a fair shot. And
so throughout the trial, Shannon Smith, Jennifer Crumbley's defense attorney, was flustered. She was confused. She was, she would bring in stacks and like stacks, like 2.5 feet tall stacks of files and papers and stack them high, for the jury to see. She wanted the jury to see all of the work, all of the time, all of the energy that went into this case. But I think she went a little too far in playing I'm just trying to make sure my client doesn't go to jail wrongfully, kind of like, I'm doing everything I can by myself, okay? Like, I'm doing my best. Like, she played that a little too big, and then this happened. Mind you, she is in a courtroom with a full audience, and specifically the families of the victims of those who were unalived November 30th, 2021 were in the audience as well. This is what she does. This is what she says. Just put your pants on, because this is crazy.
They're confusing things on purpose or hiding things on purpose. And she got so frustrated at some point that she really let it go when she did this.
Okay, so let me just kind of clarify for you. The person standing up in the blue is Shannon Smith. She is the defense attorney. And the person sitting on her left, Shannon's left, is Jennifer Crumbley. And you can see there's a stack of papers and files on the chair behind her. There is a massive stack of papers and files in front of her. She has her computer, more papers, and this, and more papers, and boxes behind her as well. And I'm not saying none of that isn't necessary. Of course, I'm sure it's all very much necessary for her, for her defense. Lady, your client is guilty. So funny. um, so it's all very much necessary, I'm sure. I mean, it might be padded a little bit, but that's for her to know and for everyone else to kind of like, you know, get over. But she says one of the most, and look, we all have a slip of the tongue. You know, we all say things that we don't really want to say, but our brain kind of does it anyway. Like it's happened to all of us. We know it's going to happen eventually. Like you're going to slip up. It's no big deal. Life goes on. But in this situation, this was the wrong phrase at the wrong time.
I am so sorry that this is a mess. Okay. On March 19th, I've got it up on the screen. This is when Jennifer Crumbley and James Crumbley are talking about Ethan acting like or seeming like he was way hungover that day, correct?
Correct.
And it appears from the text that
I'm sorry.
Jennifer is asking if he's okay.
Get ready for it.
She says, "How is he?"
Correct.
Okay. Why is this doing this now? I am gonna kill myself. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh, and just so you know, I didn't purposefully put my face in front of the lawyer you know's face. That's just where the square is. I don't know. I can't change it, so I'm sorry. But he was also just listening. Okay? So, yeah, so she said, why is this doing this? I'm gonna unalive myself. No, I'm talking. What's going on?
Just make sure you're all good.
Oh, I'm all good. So yeah, so she said, I'm gonna unalive myself. Which is absolutely unacceptable in a room full of victims, of people who were unalived by her 15-year-old son. And she's on trial for voluntary manslaughter for allowing that son to have a gun in his backpack while at school and leaving him there after counselors said, hey, probably should get this kid some help. He's drawing pictures of people bleeding with a gun in his hand. I don't know. Wild. So she was found guilty. And I'm going to be interested. It's going to be interesting to see how this precedent kind of sets more humans up for a similar situation, because we know that we are in America. We are in America, and unfortunately, we have a massive gun problem, and we have a massive active school shooting problem as well. And I think this could potentially light a fire under some parents' butts to give another 5 minutes of attention to your child. Take a look and see, look into their eyes. There is nothing wrong with therapy. Therapy is good. Therapy is okay. And I feel like we are in a really, this is my opinion. I feel like we're in a sticky place, right? Because there's parents of teenagers right now who have this idea that like therapy, like they're still like trying to overcome this idea that therapy is like a waste of money or a waste of time, like it doesn't work, right? But their kids are like asking for it and needing it, especially growing up with technology like forced in their face. I was my boyfriend the other day, we were watching the videos of the Apple goggles or whatever they're called, people walking around with them and stuff, and we're like, oh my God, there's gonna be kids born this next year that won't even know like what a flip phone looks like. Like they won't even know, like forget the cassettes, CDs, wall phones. They won't even know what like the iPhone 10 looked like, because it's so wild to me. It's so wild to me. So I feel like these kids are combating the parents and their own ideas when it comes to like therapy or getting help. So I really hope this kind of lights a fire under some parents who may have some at-risk kids. And I'm not saying like for gangs, for doing what this kid did when he was 15. Okay. Oh, my face hurts. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so we got to talk about we got to talk about this. We got to talk about it. New. It's all just kind of been a thing. Okay, so let's see. In January, was it in January? It was in January, right? I think it was like early January. Yeah, so January 7th. Clayton McGeeney, is hard for me to say right now, I'm so sorry. David Harrington and Ricky Johnson were found frozen to death outside of their friend's house, which is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This story is wild. So Jordan Willis was throwing what they thought was to be like a Kansas City Chiefs like watch party or something, but I guess it was like an after game party. And so Jordan Willis was like, hey boys, come on over. It's boys night. We're gonna watch like Jeopardy and chill, right? And so the guys came over. And they hung out and they were having a good time. And then they died. Like, it's so crazy. Like, literally, that's it. Like, literally, that's really it. Like, that's it. Which is so absolutely crazy. Jordan Willis had 4 people over. One of them left, and when he left, the other 3 guys, the 3 friends, were chilling, hanging out. Jordan was kind of in and out of his bedroom. You know, it's late at night, no big deal. They're buds hanging out. It's a chill zone, right? And so Jordan, supposedly, according to his attorney, was like, all right, guys, see you later. Have a good night, eventually, in the nighttime. And they took off. But they never got in their cars. They never went home. Jordan Willis went to sleep and slept for 2 solid days. Like, solid days. 2 solid days. Out cold. And no one was answering their phones. So loved ones, family, friends were like, hey, where's Clayton? Where's David? Where's Ricky? Like, where are they? Last time we heard, they went over to your house. Like, are you guys just sleeping? Like, what's going on? Is everything okay? We haven't heard from them in forever. What the fuck is going on? Jordan didn't respond to anything. No text messages, no messenger messages, no anything. No phone calls, nada. Nothing. Which was weird because he's a very smart guy. Like, he's a scientist. He works in a lab trying to solve the HIV/AIDS epidemic problem that we have with science. And it's a very tough problem to solve, right? Because HIV continues to mutate and change and morph, and you can't really catch it in time. So he's a smart guy. He's a scientist. So we're like, why can't we get in contact? So finally, one of the guys' friends, girlfriend, fiance, I believe, went over and, people were pounding on his door, trying to find their friends. They saw the cars there, this and that, this and that. It was cold. It was in the 30s. It was snowing. There was a little snow cover. There's a little more snow, this and that. 2 days goes by. They've had enough. She breaks into the house and she finds a dead body. Calls the cops. The cops show up and they're like, oh, wow, we got 2 more in the back. Jordan Willis comes to the door, finally, in his underpants and a wine glass in his hand. And it's like, wow, what's going on? I had no idea anyone was knocking or calling or trying to contact me. What day is that? I don't even know what day. What do you mean? And so he gets handcuffed, put in a car, as you would think it would happen to one when 3 bodies are found in your house and you're in your underwear drinking from a wine glass and they've been dead for days. Right? And you haven't been seen and people have been calling and asking where are you? Where are you? What's going on? Where are you? You of course would think that they would be handcuffed and put into the police car. The person who is in possession of the house. He rented the house, so you can't say he owns the house. But of course of course he would go into the police car and maybe taken to the station to be like, hey, what the fuck's going on? Where do you have 3 dead bodies in your yard, my guy? What's happening? Well, it kind of happened like that. But before they went down to the police station, Jordan was just, let loose. Go back home. Go back inside. You look like you look like hell because you've been sleeping for 2 days, up to piss and, gargle some water and then go back to bed, right? You look like hell. So go back home. And everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? That was all the information we were given for the longest time. That was all the information we were given for the longest time on this. And I can't even stress to you how furious I would be if I was one of the loved ones of the 3 men. If I knew them, if I was their friend, if I was their girlfriend or fiance or wife or something like that, I would be so absolutely furious. I would be so absolutely furious. And then to see, the next week, Jordan Willis moving out of the house. What do you mean? Could we maybe get a little bit of investigation going on here? It was weeks and weeks and weeks. Mind you, this happened in January, early January. Was it 7th? It is now February 9th. It's been over a month. And we are just getting a little bit more information on what the hell happened. It's crazy. So Jordan, of course, lawyered up. And he moved out of the house. And he is now in rehab. And the investigation for the 3 men is a death investigation, not a murder investigation. It's not a homicide. This is just a straight death. 3 men died frozen in this one man's backyard. Whoopsies. Which, Crystalline, I don't even know. I don't even know what is, because I feel like this is very, where's Kansas City, Missouri? Is that where that state is? That Kansas City, is it Kansas City, Missouri? I don't know. Wherever Kansas City is, I feel like this is very Kansas City vibes, right? Because I feel like if I don't know, I just have such a high standard for New York. I feel like in New York State, if someone were to discover 3 dead bodies in the yard of someone's house and the person who resides in the house has been asleep for the past 48 hours and it lines up was well, they've been dead for 48 hours and you've been asleep for 48 hours, I feel like there's going to be a little more action when it comes to figuring out what the hell happened, right? I feel like that's crazy. Now, of course, the running belief for the death is a drug overdose. There are plenty of drugs that can cause memory loss, weirdness in the brain. You don't really know where you are. You get hot, you go outside, your brain slows down, your heart slows down, your breathing slows down, and you eventually die and freeze to death. So I feel like, it probably is a drug thing. If this man slept for 48 hours in his nice comfy home, in his nice comfy bed with heat on, and these guys somehow got locked out, which they weren't locked out. The front door was actually open. Supposedly, allegedly, it was open. These guys got locked out outside that they were so out of it. They were so drugged. They were so un-okay that they didn't go to the cars, that they didn't knock a window in, that they didn't pound on the door until it broke. Three grown men. I feel like drugs are really the only option as to how this happened. But why were they outside to begin with? I would like to know. There's just so much information that we don't have. And I want to know. And the lawyer, Jordan Willis's lawyer, is a bit of a, I don't want to say scumbag, but I don't really have a better term. He's going back and forth. He's flip-flopping like never before. He's just flippity-floppeting all over the place. And, just as one would, if you have a client who had 3 dead bodies in the back of your yard and you are finding about 15 minutes of fame with being his lawyer. My face hurts so bad, you guys. I rarely get sick, and I wouldn't call this, I think it's just pain. I'm not good. Let's talk about the last thing. Oh no, I have 2 more things. Okay. Did you see the guy? I have 3 more things. What the fuck? There's a guy in Putnam County that was spray painting squirrels. Stop. I need to tell you this. There's a guy in Putnam County was spray painting squirrels because he wanted to track the ones that were making his dogs go crazy. That's really it. I just want to let you know that people like that are out there. Don't capture and spray paint squirrels. It's bad and illegal. Don't do it. Okay, next one. There was a guy that, will you stop it? Leave me be. Leave me be. There's a guy. This is a Yahoo article that I am obsessed with this. This is so stupid and so funny. And I am laughing at him, not with him. I am directly laughing at him. It's titled "Activists Arrested After Successfully Climbing Las Vegas Sphere." So this guy, Mason Deschamps, climbed to the top of Las Vegas Sphere to help a pregnant homeless woman. Okay, I can't. Oh my God. Just look at this. Look at this. Would you look at this? This man is out here saving unnecessary abortions. I can't handle it. Like, I'm gonna need white men to just mind their fucking business. Okay. 24-year-old Vegas resident who calls himself pro-life Spider-Man. That's it. Like, I'm so done. Like, that took me completely out. Pro-life Spider-Man was taken into police custody after climbing to the top of the sphere. That's it. Like, what are you doing? We know that people are going to test us. This is what the police said at the Sphere, because the Super Bowl's happening at the Sphere this Sunday, and he was doing like a thing, like a statement. What do they call it? What do they call it when police say the hellos and all the things? I don't know. They had a podium and everything. The cops were like, yeah, we know they're going to test us. People are going to try things. As we sit here today. Oh, press conference. It's literally in the paragraph above. Your first responders are all over there. Just like, yeah, they're over there taking care of some asshole climbing the sphere right now in hopes to save a baby from an abortion. I literally can't. I literally can't. Look at this picture. Pro-life Spider-Man. I can't. Go to the link in my bio to donate to help Isabel cancel her board. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Okay, so this guy decided to climb the sphere, and he's like, I'm on top of the sphere. I guess they're gonna make me go through the top. I just want to say I'm doing this today to raise money for a mother named Isabel. She's homeless and pregnant and needs help, guys. Yeah. She's homeless and she's pregnant and she needs help. Yeah, go over to letthemlive.org. Don't go over there. Don't go over to that website. Don't go there and don't give them money. This man is an absolute menace to society. Oh my God. I'm gonna need grown men to just climb the sphere, you know. Don't do it. Don't do it for anything else. Let's see. We talked about that. Oh, the last thing I wanted to talk about was this. Yeah. Okay, so you might have seen a couple weeks ago. It's probably been like 2 weeks now. Nye on TikTok, NAI, was doing a little vlog on her way to go get some groceries. She's a college student. She's like 21. And she was TikToking, doing a little vlog. And a homeless man reached out as she was walking by and was like, hey, okay, stop with the noises. He's like, can I get some tea? And she's like, oh, you just want some tea? Yeah, we can, if you want to walk with me, I can go get some tea. Go down to the Starbucks or whatever and get some tea for you. And she went above and beyond. She got tea, she got this, she got him a hotel room, and she made a friend. She made it was communication. She reached out, and you know, it was an honestly beautiful moment between humans, just appreciating one another and doing and being kind to each other. And she raised, to this point, over $400,000 on a GoFundMe for this man after what she did really sparked something in a lot of people. And now, unfortunately, the internet is interneting as the internet does. And the history of Alonzo, the homeless man that just asked for tea, has kind of come out. And I don't really know how we kind of, I don't know. I haven't finished thinking about it. You know, I just kind of started. I haven't actually finished thinking about it, but I'm going to play you this TikTok. And you let me know, and then we'll talk about it. I don't know. Okay. Oh.
Guys, so I know you guys heard about the story of the girl helping the homeless man. Great story. I didn't know it was here in D.C., but they're trying to slander this man's name. Oh my goodness. Take a look at the story, guys. Tell me what you think.
DC helping out a homeless man. It went viral, and a GoFundMe campaign raised more than $400,000 to help him.
But tonight, questions are being raised about the man's alleged criminal history. And
What?
Sierra Fox Jones is live from Northwest with this exclusive report. Sierra?
Come on, man.
The man in that viral TikTok video goes by Alonzo. Tonight, I exclusively spoke with a woman who says here in D.C. years ago when she was homeless, he beat her up, and now she's only sharing the harrowing details with Fox 5.
So he was a man with a history. Don't we all have a history? And he has a bit of a violent past. And it's really, I feel like when people were donating dollar after dollar to Alonzo, we all know we all have past. This man is homeless, obviously not by choice, from the way that he responded to Nye and was kind in return and was laughing and, you know, was very much like, I just want some tea. Like I just needed tea. Like you don't have to go above and beyond. I watched, she made many updates, and it was really fantastic. She would look for him and they would have the conversation of like, you have a GoFundMe, you know, people are watching on TikTok, and he felt, you could see like real emotions coming over, and it was, okay, so let's finish this.
Was caught on camera, and we want to warn you, it may be difficult to watch.
What?
This is exclusive video you will only see on Fox 5. Police say Alonzo
Okay.
Douglas
It's censored
Hebron
out,
put a
which is
sword
good.
over the victim's head while she was sleeping outside Foundry United Methodist Church.
What?
Then he started punching her face and body for several minutes. The brutal assault happened in June 2020 on Peace Street in Northwest DC.
I'm speechless. I do not understand how a human being can act like this. He's a sociopath. He does not have a sense of remorse.
The victim, who wants to remain anonymous for safety reasons, says she woke up at the hospital not remembering what exactly happened to her.
This is violent and scary. And when I saw this, I was like, oh shit. It felt like the world came together this past couple of weeks to help Alonzo and help Nye as well in funding a GoFundMe, like filling up a GoFundMe for her for college, for her tuition. She was giving so much. She was giving so much, and so the people who watched and got entertainment and emotion out of it as well were saying, we can give we need to give to you. Like, you are doing so much. Like, we need to give back to you as well, which I thought was fantastic. So, let's see.
These photos of the aftermath. Is this the man who assaulted you? Yep. The victim claims Hebron is known as a violent and dangerous person in the homeless community. That's why she says watching this viral TikTok video is triggering.
Wow.
I've been struggling since then. I'm an alcoholic in recovery. Last week was my 18 months anniversary. And the last 2 days, I came close. I didn't, because he's not worth it.
After an hour. However, she does not fault the young lady for trying to help someone.
I was heartbroken. Heartbroken.
So the woman who was attacked by this man, who now has over $400,000 in a GoFundMe, is speaking out. I don't really need to play the rest. She says the girl was just trying to help, of course. And I had clearly only good intentions. I just thought there's a lot of speculation of why she came out now. Obviously, there's a lot of eyeballs on Alonzo. And when I mean a lot, I mean a lot. Let me get you some numbers real quick. Just in the first couple of days, Nye's video counts. I believe it's this one. Let's see. In the first couple of days, it had like 13 million views. Now it has the original video where she met Alonzo. Now has 32.2 million views. 32.2 million views. That's a lot of views. There's a lot of speculation, and it's gross. Like, I don't even want to think like that, but people do, and people have to. Did this woman come out because of the money? Did she come out because of her actual fears of, supplying too much money to a potential violent human being? I don't know. Nye hasn't posted anything since her news interviews from, let's see, when was this? 4 days ago. So I'm gonna kind of keep updated on that and check it out. But I have to go. I feel like garbage. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. And I gotta go to sleep. Oh my gosh, I can't. I can't talk anymore. Okay, I will see you guys on Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. Please be good. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you all have all the chocolates that you want. So be good out there. Stay well, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.